Hello YouTube friends, this is Recovering Yankee, and I'm doing a chart for a friend on YouTube. Now just quickly, it's a woman, and she is 5'2". I initially thought she was 6'2", but I made a mistake. I did a chart for her based on 6'2", and I was wrong. So I correct myself by doing a chart for 5'2", which is her height. Now, a 5'2" person, according to the medical charts, the ideal body weight for a 5'2" person is minimum 110 pounds to about 130 pounds. Okay, I think it's 129. But let's try working with the minimums. Your ideal body weight is 110. Therefore, your ideal protein level that you take in each day is 110 units. Okay? Now, the maximum fat is always 1/2 of the minimum protein. So if you go on the high end of the range for your ideal body weight, which is 129, let's just call it 130 for easy numbers, then this number would be half of that, which is 65. Okay? So this is the ideal number right here, 110 to 55. Because the carbs is the variable, you really don't want more carbs on this side than 55 for yourself. Here's why. Because the perfect ratio for maintenance on this diet is 110 units of protein to 110 units of combined fat and carbs. 55 and 55 is 110. So that's the ideal maintenance weight for this diet. Maintenance means you've already attained your ideal body weight and you just want to keep that weight for the rest of your life. But we're not interested right now, I'm not interested anyway, and I don't think you are, in staying at your current weight. So your goal is to move toward this level right here with a ratio on this side being lower than 110. And that's going to be because you changed the amount of carbohydrates. Okay, so let's change this to say 40. Okay, right now your ratio is ideal for losing weight. You have 110 proteins on this side and a combination of 95 fat and 40 carbs on this side. Right? 55 and 40 is 95. That's still not as ideal as you can get it, but it's much more ideal than exactly 110 to 110. Okay? Now, let's say you move this down to 30. Or no, let's go down to 20. Now you can see the ratio is even better. The lower this number goes on the fat carbohydrate side, the better you'll be. But you still have to maintain a 50% ratio between how much fat you take in and how much protein you take in. Okay? These numbers can't change. And there's only one exception to that. This number you keep changing. The lower you go on the carbohydrate side, the better off you'll be. The faster you lose weight, according to Dr. Naiman. Okay? Now, I don't know that you can really go in real life lower than 20 carbs on a protein and fat diet. Okay? Let's say you can get it down to 10, though. I don't know if that's possible. But let's say you're at 65. That's an excellent, excellent ratio. Okay? The reason I don't think 10 is obtainable when you're doing this type of diet is because even liver has carbohydrates in it. And hot dogs, if you eat hot dogs, they have carbohydrates in them. And you put creamer in your coffee, cream has carbohydrates in it. And like I put a teaspoon of cayenne in my lemon juice that I make every day. Cayenne has carbs in it when you eat a teaspoon of it. When you put seasonings on your food, your seasonings have carbohydrates. Okay? So I don't think 10 is possible. I really don't think 20 is possible in real life. But it's any time where this number here for your body weight, 110, and your protein number, which is 110, anytime this is lower than 55 for you, it's very good. Okay? Now look what happens if you go to 75. Your ratio is screwed up for the day. You've got more carbs and fat than you do of protein. That's not good. This side, when it's higher, the carb and fat side, when it's higher than the protein side, is not good. You're not losing weight when you do this. So be careful. Also, just a message for you, be careful with respect to fats, because fat intake improves very quickly with certain types of meat and also with butter. So I'm going to put this one back to 50-50. That's where we're going to stay for you. Okay. Now I want to show you my other chart. Hold on. I've just put up some foods for you so you can see how quickly the fats grow or how slowly they grow when you put on a food chart like this, okay? It is okay to have low-fat food on this diet. It is not okay to have high-fat food on this diet. And now look, this is 80-20 burger. 80-20 burger in America means 80% of the burger is burger and 20% of the burger is fat. Look at the fat ratio, which is 11.5, to the protein ratio for 4 ounces. Okay? I'm sorry, this is 2 ounces. 2 ounces of beef burger is 9.5 units of fat, protein, and 11.5 units of fat. See, the fat ratio is screwed up. You want to eat foods, every time you eat food, you want the protein side to be higher than the fat side, always, whenever you eat food. Now, I'm going to compare that to chicken breasts. These are not frozen chicken breasts. They're refrigerated, but they're not frozen. They're fresh. They're skinless and they're boneless. 4 ounces, in this case, this is 4 ounces right here. 4 ounces of chicken breast has 1 unit of fat and 26 grams, swear jar, 26 units of protein. That's a good ratio right there, okay? 1 to 26, that's good, because the fat number is significantly lower than the protein number. Look at the chicken strips that I eat every day. 52 units of protein for 2.5 units of fat, and that's based on 8 ounces, okay? See how significantly low this is compared to how significantly high that is? See how high this is compared to how low that is? You want to stay away from 80-20 burger. You also want to stay away from 85-15 burger. You want to stay away from 73-27 burger, because those are going to have more fat than protein in a certain unit, okay? But I haven't checked out 90-10 burger yet. I don't really plan to buy it because it's expensive. And I haven't checked out 93-7 burger, 93% beef, 7% fat, okay? But I'm 100% sure that 90-10 burger or 93-7 burger is going to have the right protein to fat ratio. Fat will be lower than the protein, but not much lower, okay? With beef on this diet, you want to eat lean cuts of beef. So you're going to have to go to the butcher shop, and you're going to have to physically look at how much fat is in a steak, for instance. You'll see steaks that have very little fat. Hopefully it's got fat on the outside so you can trim the fat off. And you'll see steaks that have like a vein of fat going through. Those kind of steaks are the good ones you want to eat for this diet. But don't get burger that's less than 90-10 because of too much fat. Look at what happens when you eat frozen salmon. A 4-ounce piece of frozen salmon has 5 units of fat and 25 units of protein. That's a fantastic ratio for fat to protein for this diet. Look at what butter has. 12 units of fat, 0 protein. Butter is very, very bad for this diet. But you have to cook in butter, or you have to cook cooking oils. So you have to cook with butter, let's say you're going to maximize out to 3 tablespoons a day. 3 tablespoons a day is 300 calories, 36 proteins and 36 fats and 0 proteins. That's not good. That is not good with this diet. You have too much fat, not enough protein. Okay? So you want to avoid any foods that have more fat than protein, period. Now, what you can do, because you have to have some carbs in this diet, is go with what I see here with olives. Okay, look at this. Olives have 6 units of fat, 4 carbs, and 0 protein. Okay? But the point I'm making here is olives are good for you on this diet, but look at how much fat they have to how much protein. The ratio is too high. Just be careful how high it goes. Look how broccoli is on this diet. 0 fat, 6 proteins, and that's for 6 ounces of frozen broccoli. That's a fantastic ratio right there. Fantastic. That's the best way to do this, is have the lowest possible fat for every meal and the highest possible protein for every meal. So you have to pick foods that do that for you. Let's try cheese here. Hold on. Cheese for 1 slice of Munster cheese has 7 units of fat and 5 units of protein. That's the bad ratio. Remember, this number, fat, should never be higher than this number. That's you're building up the fat side too quickly, and you're not building up enough protein. So avoid things like this. Avoid Munster cheese. Avoid provolone cheese, which is almost identical to Munster cheese, except this is 6, and this is 6, and this is 7. This is also 60, and 0. Okay. You got to avoid cheese. Cheese is terrible for this diet. Cheese is okay for the carnivore diet because carnivore pushes the fat more than they push the protein. Okay? Now, I want to tell you this quickly. The ideal food, period, if you are in trouble throughout the day, you've built up too many fats, and you don't have enough proteins to fill in the gap. Well, egg whites. Just look at what the ratio of egg whites is for protein, 5.4 to 0, and that's with 10 tablespoons. 10 tablespoons of egg whites have 0 fat, 5.4 proteins. Fantastic. That is the best safety food of all the foods that are on this diet. Because if you are at the point where you're approaching your fat and carbohydrate ratio for the day, and you're still not at 110 units of protein, throw in some egg whites. Throw in a bunch of egg whites and cook them. And you'll see that it turns out very good for your diet. Okay, thank you very much. This is for you, and this is special. Thank you. Peace.